Guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your brain coach, and just someone with a lot of passion, curiosity, and thirst for knowledge to share with you all the tools, all the brain tools and body tools you can use to optimize your brain, to optimize your body, to optimize your life, and to just feel, look, and do your best. And over the weekend, guys, I was listening to a podcast with Claude Silver. She's a Chief Heart Officer at Viners Media. And she was talking about how employees at Viner Media all are on their A game. But she said, by A game, we don't mean that you are the best salesperson or the best whoever, but you have the resources and the intention to show up as your full self, bringing all of your resource to the mission, to the task, to the work at hand, whatever that might be on any single day. And the purpose of this podcast, guys, is also not to grow superheroes, although it might be. But the purpose is not to make everyone perfect. There is no perfection. There is no such thing. You should know by now. I'm not that kind of person who believes there is this perfect human being who has everything figured out. Anyone who appears to be that way are just not showing their sides that are not that perfect. But I believe it actually important to show those sides, to show that we are all not perfect. And also that on different days, at different times, we also do not show up the best that we can with perfect conditions. But the important point and the goal of this podcast is to give you tools to do better. Like, for example, the topic of today's podcast is motivation and how to increase it, and specific kind of motivation. But that doesn't mean that now every single day, every single moment, you're going to be super motivated. But when you're sitting down to work and you feel literally like doing nothing, and you know that this work has to be done, and it has to be done in the next 2-3 hours. If you want to gain momentum, if you want other people to do what they need to do, this has to be done right now, and you just don't feel like it. So what do? And this where these tools come in handy. Now, you might not be, again, the best that you can ever be, but you can be better. And that's the important aspect, knowing how to get yourself into a better state to get the job done, the best you can do given the circumstances and how you feel. Today, as I mentioned, is about motivation. And I get a question over the course of past week. How do you raise your motivation for things that are mundane? When you're bored, when you're sitting there and you're writing this proposal, or you're writing a report, or you're answering the emails, and you have to answer those emails. Maybe you are a solopreneur. Maybe you don't have, everyone to be taking care of stuff that you don't like. As a lot of entrepreneurs, when we begin, and I'm still at this stage, we have to do a lot of things that we don't like. But we still have to do them, and the work has to be done till we can find someone who truly enjoyed this part that we hate. So how do you find motivation for those things that you're also not learning really much? Like maybe, again, answering emails, reaching out to people, not so much of learning, maybe you start practice better communication tools. But to be honest, right, at some points, it's just a mundane thing. And the answer I give, it's really simple. And this is what purpose-driven entrepreneurs who can go from failure to failure for years and still pursue their thing until it pops up and flourishes. So what a lot of entrepreneurs learn how to do, whether they recognize it as a skill or not, is connecting the most mundane thing that they have to do, even the things that they hate, to their mission, what I like to call theme of their life, something that will outlive you. Like, let's take Elon Musk, right? Again, he's not a perfect human being, has a lot of shit going for him, especially now that I personally believe is a lot of it has to do with lack of self-care, but not my place to judge. A man done amazing things, transformed, huge part of the world. Like, there are very few people who will be able to do it in their lifetime nowadays, and in the days before us and after us. So anyhow, how do you think he keeps going no matter what? Well, very simple. He has and had, since he was a kid, what he shared in his interviews, this theme of his life. He figured out, if we want humanity to survive, he was probably a very smart kid to ask those questions at that time. If we were to survive as humanity, we need to make sure that we don't run out of energy and we don't destroy ourselves by things like, boosting, so to speak, global warming. And so he decided to dedicate his life to, and he also thought about the fact that, Earth can be destroyed, and so we gotta become multiplanetary species. So he dedicated his life to energy and now decarbonization also, with Tesla especially. He's dedicated his time to energy, creating electric cars. That was part of his mission that he chose. And then he decided to dedicate his resources and his time to the development of space arena. And making humans multiplanetary species and saving the Earth, he'll probably not going to achieve that, but he'll make quite some progress in his lifetime. And guess what, guys? He will never run out of motivation because his goal is never accomplished. But from, again, all of his interviews and his autobiography, well, I believe, somebody else wrote his biography, but there were a lot of interviews of him. And what I gathered is he never forgets why he does what he does. Never. It doesn't matter what he does, what he's doing at the moment, he never forgets what's the goal. And he never forgets that we're running out of time. Our lives are limited. Our days are limited. Our resources are limited. And so if you can't do something today, then freaking do it. And if you have to, fly to Russia or write 1,000 emails that are boring as shit, then you have to do it. But the only way you can feel fun doing that, even though it's extremely hard, just like hard workout, it's hard, but also kind of fun and challenging, and you want to accomplish it, or when you're going through some competition, the only way you can make it fun if it's meaningful to you. And the only way it can be meaningful to you if you know what that meaning is. And so my recommendation was, and that requires some soul searching for a lot of people, is to create the theme of your life. The theme of my life is to help people, myself including, to learn, to understand how to be better at any moment. If we need to feel more motivated, feel more motivated. If we need to feel more energy, feel more energy. If we need to feel happy, feel happy. If we need to feel more confident, feel more confident. So we have tools, even now, a lot of tools, behavioral tools, cognitive tools, designing your environment, nutrition tools, movement tools, a lot of supplement tools, a lot of different tools, how to get better. And the theme of my life is to help each of us to become a little bit more like that superhero that we admire when we watch movies or read books about superheroes that save the earth, that save the moment, right? So that is my mission. And that's why I'm never bored. Like, if I have to learn right now traffic generation from Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels, then I will have to learn this. Do I enjoy it? Not so much, to be honest, but it's a challenge. I'm like, it's fun to get better at that. I think that I very much suck. And this is the long answer to this question. How do you find the theme of your life? Really good exercise. Again, there are a lot of tools to do so, but one of my favorite exercises, and I found it when I use it with my clients, that it's very effective. It really doesn't work. That's why it has been around for so many years. So this exercise, it's called 5 Whys, was introduced. I'm not sure where it initially came from, maybe from Stoics or ancient Greece, who knows. But it was initially introduced into the world of performance and productivity by Sekichi Toyota. He is the founder of Toyota Industries. And 5 Whys exercise, also really big with Simon Sinek. Again, it works. It just works. You ask yourself, why is it I'm doing what I'm about to do? Why is it important? And then you get the answer and you dig deeper. So why is that important? And you get the answer and you dig deeper. And why is that important in my life? And you dig and dig and dig. 5 whys, 5 is just a number. It's not some magic that you're going to arrive to the final answer at, number 5. You might arrive earlier. You dig and dig and dig until you feel emotional connection, until you feel something like in your gut, in your heart, that this freaking thing is important. It is painful if I don't make progress on that or don't achieve it or don't put effort into that. It is painful not to be making progress on that thing. Once you feel that, and you also feel this motivation, but if I put my effort into it, I will feel like my life will feel so meaningful and I will feel happy and fulfilled. Once you get to that, this is your answer. And sometimes it doesn't come on the day one. So what you do, you ask those questions, and even better, you journal them, because that triggers your brain to put more effort into solving this problem. So you journal it, you let it sit, and then you go about your day. And believe me, guys, in a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, for some people, again, for most people, it arrives right then and there. And sometimes they don't realize that they have this underlying reason, but they do. They just forget to connect what they are doing right now to this thing. This is the skill that I practice and practice and practice, and I'm teaching people, and I got really good at it. For me, it's automatic. Like, not feeling motivated. Why is it important, Angela? And why is that important, right? It became my habit, my mental, my cognitive habit to always ask this question. And you can do that too. So ask yourself to find the theme of your life. And then after that, whenever you feel like you lack motivation for the thing that you gotta do, just connect to that life theme, to that reason again. And sometimes, guys, also, you have to do things like getting work done to get your paycheck that might not have a lot to do with your life mission, except for the fact that it helps you to keep going, or it helps you to provide for your family. And that might be a part of your life's mission that is crucial, that is essential, that is super important to you. And that also will work just fine. So you don't have to have a grand vision and mission for every single thing you do, but you got to connect it to something that is truly important for you. Like for a lot of male entrepreneurs and business owners I worked with, for them, supporting their family is one of the most important things. They are a provider, the provider for that family, right? And failing to do that is a huge motivator for them. So whatever that is, find it and connect it with what you need to do right now, and you'll get all the energy, all the motivation you need, and it will even start feeling like fun, like a fun challenge that you gotta accomplish to move forward. And after that, you'll feel such a rewarding feeling of accomplishment. You'll feel like a true superhero, because guess what? You didn't want to do that. You didn't feel like doing that, and you still did it. And that's what humans do. And that's why I'm so freaking in love with human beings. So try it and let me know how it works for you. And that's about it, guys. A quick note on motivation, how to increase your dopamine. Dopamine will always increase your motivation. So if you start your morning, a quick tip, from a really fast walk outside, because light is important for dopamine activation, really fast walk outside, 10-15 minutes, and you listen to your favorite music, you get the boost of dopamine, the boost of motivation, the boost of energy, and combine that with your bigger why, whatever that why is, you'll be unfreaking stoppable. Try it, share it, teach others. Let me know how it worked for you. I'm sure it will work 100% or even 200% if there is such a thing. So do it, teach it, let me know how it worked for you, and get after it. It's Monday morning, time to get shit done. Talk to you very soon.